Petty Patrick Peterson, P3's back at it again, doing what he loves to do, and that's throw shade at his former team. Yeah, the Cardinals' favorite ex-scorn player, Patrick Peterson, took to his podcast on Wednesday, the All Things Patrick Peterson podcast. No, that's not it, even though he talks about himself all the time. It's the All Things Cardinals podcast, because he can't stop talking about his former team. That's not it either. No, it's the All Things Covered except for DeAndre Hopkins podcast. Wrong again. But do we remember like a month ago where Patrick Peterson was gloating about clamping 34-year-old A.J. Green and Robbie Anderson when on the other side of the field, DeAndre Hopkins is catching 12 balls for 159 yards and a tutty? Yeah, I remember that too. Now, Peterson's All Things Covered podcast, he took a shot at his former quarterback, Kyler Murray, saying Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray. Now, on Thursday, Peterson was asked about his comments. He said he meant no disrespect.
Okay.
To Kyler Murray. He was just going from the observations about everybody else was having about Kyler with his body language. No disrespect, Peterson, but you're a clown. And his comments about Murray are the epitome of the pot calling the kettle black. It's tough to think of a more self-absorbed Arizona Cardinal player, former player, than Patrick Peterson. Just keep in mind, in 2018, the first season without Bruce Arians, Steve Wilkes' first year, brutal start to the season. In October, 1 month into the year, Peterson's requesting a trade out of town because when the going gets tough, Peterson wants to get going. He doesn't want to be part of the solution. He just wants to win for himself. He continued his selfish streak the next offseason, getting popped for PEDs, and he was suspended the first 6 games of the Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury era. The defense of the Cardinals suffered mightily to start that season. Now, Kyler responded to the quote from Peterson saying, if you really felt like that, big bro or mentor, you're supposed to call me, not drag me so your podcast can grow. And spot on from Kyler, noticing exactly what P3 was up to. Good for him not taking the cheap shot. Peterson prides himself on mentoring young players, but we can all see that this snake in the grass just does it simply for clout. It's some Real Housewives bullcrap, two-faced kind of stuff. Now, DeAndre Hopkins defended his quarterback because he knows that it's not true. He said, you don't kick a man while he's already down, and you gained attention, but you lost respect. Lost in all this, all the P3 drama, was his criticisms of Steve Keim, who's one of the most polarizing figures surrounding the Arizona Cardinals organization. He deserves the criticism, but not what Patrick Peterson is criticizing him for, how he handled him during the 2021 offseason. Peterson is upset Keim didn't give him the bag in a multi-year, multi-million-dollar extension, but keep in mind that Peterson, coming off his trade request in 2018, his PED suspension in 2019, and then his production falling off a cliff in 2020. Opposing quarterbacks in 2020 had a 100 quarterback rating when targeting in Patrick Peterson. He gave up 5 touchdowns that season and was penalized 12 times. 12 times Peterson was penalized that season. I think it's time for Patrick Peterson finally to go frozen on this thing and let it go. It's time to officially move on. You're in a good situation with Minnesota. You're having a resurgence on the playing field, your best season since 2018. And your team is 1 game away from clinching the division, the brutal NFC North. So enjoy that. Quit thinking about your former team. Let's let time heal these wounds, and we can finally remember the player that you once were, the player that deserves to be in the Arizona Cardinals Ring of Honor. 2011 through 2017, Patrick Peterson was absolutely electric.